Hi everybody, welcome back to our next Lunch and Learn, and we are here in Cabbagetown. So boundaries as always, north is Wellesley Street, west is Sherbourne, the eastern part is Riverdale Park, which is just behind me here, and south is historically Shooter, but when Regent Park was created in the 1940s, they kind of cut a tiny bit into Cabbagetown on the east side of Parliament up to Gerrard Street, so it's a little bit of an L shape. Now, Cabbagetown was first known as the village of Donvale. Don, I guess, because of the Don River, which is kind of behind me down there. And Vale just means valley, which is Riverdale Park. So it developed in the 1840s around Winchester Street Bridge, and that was the first main bridge, I guess, over the Don River before they built the Bloor Street Viaduct. In the 19th century, the area was absorbed into Toronto, and it became home to a lot of working-class Irish inhabitants who were employed in the industries along the lakeshore to the south. And there's the brick Victorian houses we're going to see here. They were built all throughout the area. So, as everybody's kind of suspected, the name of Cabbagetown supposedly came from from stories where they were new immigrants and they used to dig up their front lawns and they used to put cabbages on the front lawns. And in fact, Cabbagetown is supposedly the largest continuous area of preserved Victorian houses in all of North America. Let's go check some out. So Cabbagetown, it was a working class neighborhood, and it reached its peak of prosperity just before the First World War, which is about the time when many of these brick homes in the area were built. I'm standing in front of some of my favorites here on Metcalfe Street. After World War I, the area became really increasingly impoverished. It became known as one of Toronto's largest slums. And a big chunk of the original Cabbagetown was bulldozed in the late 1940s to make room for the Regent Park housing project to the south. In the 1970s, though, Cabbagetown, there was a renaissance. It became to be gentrified again. There was a real estate agent, his name was Daryl Kent, and he was a big driving force in the restoration of many of the homes in the area. He was a gay man, and gay men and women made up a lot of the earliest gentrifying groups in Cabbagetown. And we can really all agree that the restorations here are stunning. Anyhow, let's go grab something to eat. We're going to Fatouche Sandwich Club on Gerrard. So you can see I've eaten half my sandwich here. I ordered the shawarma. Joelle got the eggplant. I think it's okay. This is really not, like, Cabbagetown isn't really the neighborhood for foodies. It's, you know, there's not really a ton of really great restaurants around here. I'd give this probably a 5, 5.5 out of 10. So, despite gentrification, Cabbagetown, it's still a mixed bag. There's affluent residents, but there's still pockets of community housing and shelters. In fact, at Gerrard and Parliament, just to the south, it has the largest concentration of homeless shelters and drop-in centres in Canada. If you walk along Parliament from Wellesley to Dundas, you'll see a really mixed bag of things. Gourmet shops, there's health food stores, upscale boutiques, discount supermarkets, community medical clinics, and they kind of all mingle together quite nicely. So Cabbagetown, really, in my opinion, it still has this really artsy feel. There's many artists, there's musicians, writers, and journalists. So housing. As I mentioned, we have the largest concentration of preserved Victorian houses in North America. Most are brick semis and row houses, and it's dotted with some amazing detached homes. And there are also vestiges of even some Victorian cottages. I'm standing here in Amelia Street, and here's some great examples right here behind me. So, prices. Detached, there are really kind of relatively few, and it depends on where in Cabbagetown you are. The Shooter and Dundas, if you're down in that little section, $1.5 million for a detached, and you can go into the nice part of Donvale, which I guess is the upper portion of Cabbagetown, low $4 million for a beautiful second empire. Most of them, semis and towns, the lion's share of the homes. Again, it depends on where you are and what condition it's in, but you can go from 1.2-ish to $3 million, and you can even go into the mid $3 millions. And condos. There are a few condos in the neighborhood, mostly sort of around the outskirts and on the main streets, even though there are some townhouses as well that are sort of in the heart of it. One bedrooms, 500 to mid sixes, two bedrooms, 700 to 1.2. As always, I love doing these videos. Like, share, and we'll talk soon.